welcome to the podcast for When the Curves Line Up for September 19, 2023. Please see the article that includes diagrams of today's events on the website. Text by Jeffrey L. Hunt. In Chicago, sunrise occurs at 6:35 a.m. Central Daylight Time, followed by sunset at 6:53 p.m. Venus is at a one-of-a-kind geometric configuration with Earth and Sun today. Technically, it is called the greatest illuminated extent. This occurs when the planet is brightest in our sky. The configuration occurs before inferior conjunction when Venus is an evening star and now in the morning sky. Through a telescope, Venus shows a morning crescent phase 27% illuminated. The angle from the Sun to Venus, with Earth at the vertex, is 40 degrees. The Venusian crescent covers the largest area of the sky. This seems counterintuitive when we think about the Moon. When the Moon is full, the illuminated globe covers the largest area of the sky compared to the illumination of a lunar crescent. This occurs because the Moon is about the same distance from Earth throughout its lunar cycle. Venus' distance varies along with its phase. When Venus passed between Earth on August 13, it was nearly 27 million miles from our planet. The Earth-facing side was, for discussion purposes here, not illuminated, like a new moon. This morning, it is over 40 million miles distant. The distance increases as Venus moves away from us and its phase grows. The morning half phase occurs October 23, when the planet is 65 million miles away, but the planet appears 35% smaller through a telescope. While the phase grows, it appears smaller, covering less of the sky than this morning. By December 5, Venus is 93 million miles from Earth with a morning gibbous phase that is 70% illuminated, but it is 56% smaller than this morning's telescopic size. The planet is farther away, smaller in appearance, and dimmer in the sky, although it is still the brightest star-like body in the sky. As the planet passes behind the Sun at superior conjunction late next spring, its phase grows to full, but it is 75% smaller than today's size. So today, while the phase is a crescent, it covers the largest area of the sky, known as the greatest illuminated extent. For those listeners wanting more information about this effect, a source that is linked in the online article. Step outside this morning to see a brilliant Venus. However this occurs, Venus is dazzling in the morning sky. Here is today's planet forecast. In the morning sky, 3 bright planets are visible along the arc of the ecliptic at 2½ hours before sunrise. Saturn is the most difficult to see at this hour, about 5 degrees above the horizon in the west-southwest, to the lower right of Skate and Lambda Aquarii. Bright Jupiter, the second brightest star-like body in the sky this morning, is high in the southern sky. It is retrograding in front of Aries, 13.4 degrees to the lower left of Hammel, the Ram's brightest star, 11.2 degrees to the upper right of Menkar in Cetus, and 16.0 degrees to the lower right of the Pleiades star cluster, part of Taurus. At this hour, brilliant Venus is over 7 degrees above the eastern horizon. This view of the 3 planets at the same time is becoming a challenging observation, mainly from Saturn's brightness. It is lower each morning and starting to shine through the lower layers of the air near the horizon that blurs and reddens celestial objects. This is most obvious with the rising or setting Sun and Moon. Venus and Jupiter are bright enough to be seen near an unobstructed horizon, but not Saturn. Venus and Saturn are 180 degrees apart on October 10. After this date, Saturn sets before Venus rises, but with the atmospheric filtering of Saturn's light, Saturn may disappear before Venus rises during the next several days. One way to lengthen this observation in the short term is to begin looking for them about 3 hours before daybreak. By 1 hour before sunup, Venus, appearing as a bright jewel of the morning, is over 25 degrees up in the east. It is the same altitude, height above the horizon, as Sirius, the dog star, that is over 40 degrees to the planet's right in the southeastern sky. The little dog star, Procyon, is above an imaginary line from Venus to Sirius. Venus is stepping eastward toward Regulus, 14.7 degrees to the planet's lower left. Venus passes the star October 9th. Mercury is putting on its best morning display of the year, about 5 degrees above the horizon and 8.9 degrees to the lower left of Regulus at this hour. Wait another 15 minutes to see Mercury higher, over 7 degrees above the horizon. The planet reaches its largest separation from the Sun in 3 mornings. It brightens each morning. Use a binocular to initially find the speedy planet. In the evening sky. After the challenging to see grouping of Mars and the Moon a few days ago, the red planet continues to slip into bright sunlight. This evening it sets less than 45 minutes after nightfall. At that time, the crescent moon, 22% illuminated, is about 10 degrees above the southwest horizon, 7.9 degrees to the lower left of Zubin el-Janubi, the Scorpion's southern claw, and 10.5 degrees to the lower right of Chuba, the critter's forehead. Scorpius' brightest star, Antares, is 7.6 degrees to the left of Chuba and less than 20 degrees to the upper left of the lunar orb. Look for Earth shine between the cusps or horns of the moon. This is reflected sunlight from Earth's clouds, oceans, and land. Photograph it with a tripod-mounted camera and exposures up to a few seconds, depending on the camera's settings. Saturn, not as bright as Venus or Jupiter, is over 25 degrees above the southeast horizon at 2 hours after sunset. The planet rises in the southeast before sunrise, appearing higher during the early evening hours. Saturn appears to be moving westward compared to the starry background of the constellation Aquarius. This retrograde motion is from Earth passing between the planet and the Sun. The ringed wonder is 9.5 degrees to the upper right of Skate and 9.9 degrees to the right of Lambda Aquarii. Look for the star Fomalhaut, about 20 degrees below Saturn and about 10 degrees above the horizon. The name means the mouth of the southern fish. At 3 hours after sundown, bright Jupiter is over 10 degrees up in the east. During the night, as Earth rotates, the stars and planets seem to shift westward in unison. Before twilight begins tomorrow, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn are visible at the same time. Thank you for listening. Please read the articles at whenthecurveslineup.com.